Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Well, it's morning in my part of the world. I don't know if it's morning where you are, but it's definitely morning where I am. Hello, my loves. I hope you are well. Do say hello to me in the chat. This is my Thursday. Good morning chat with Debbie. So if this is your first time here, welcome. If you have been here before, it's nice to see you again. So as per always, don't know what you're doing right now, but you might be folding laundry, trying to get kids settled, or a bit emotional and distressed and having a bit of a cry somewhere. Whatever you are doing, please know that you are in the right place. This space on my channel is here for you every single Thursday morning. It's for some of the hard times, some of the devastating times, and of course, some of the times that aren't those things that are a bit okay. You're still welcome here. Welcome to my table. And in this space, in this time, all questions are welcome, all of them. And I do my very best to answer them if I can. And I share a little bit of what's going on in Debbie's world as a reflection back to you about what's going on in yours. So I know you're busy juggling a million things. So let's take just a couple of seconds for ourselves, shall we? 10 seconds just for us. And let's do a quick check-in. Deep breaths, couple of deep breaths to slow down the pace and just get everything a bit settled, and let me know where you are this week. So I always try and find a number 0 to 10. I think when life is doing life, that trying to ground yourself in where am I at in this moment? Where am I at in this moment is helpful. 0 for me, life's a bag of poop, my daughter's phrase. Where things are tough and hard and challenging, to 10 where, life is pretty good. I feel pretty good. I feel pretty happy. Life's okay. And maybe we're somewhere in between. So pick your number this morning. And of course, it can change, within seconds. It can change within hours or days or weeks. For me, this morning is a mixed bag, which it is most weeks. I was doing okay-ish. I think probably sitting at a 6 or 7 for most of the week. And then I had some bad news yesterday, and that took me down to a 1. So that was not so great. So do let me know in the chat how you're going. Good morning, ladies. It's lovely to see you here. I really appreciate you coming and joining me this morning. So as always, Sarah's sitting on a 7. Good morning, Kate. Morning, Jackie. I called you Jackie. Jacqueline. Morning, Jackie. Morning, Kathy. Nice to see you, my darling. Hi, Mary. Hi, Kate. So nice to see you, ladies. Just say hello in the chat. Just sitting in a 3. Yeah, the numbers are interesting yet again. So what are we going to talk about today? We're going to talk about when everything feels a bit too much. And this feels like a just recurring theme in 2025, that things feel too much a lot of the time in 2025. It has been a topsy-turvy, upside down, smack you around the back of the head kind of year. And for many of us, things are, like in my personal life, things are getting better, but then there's these things that come out of nowhere and sort of knock me off my feet, which is what happened yesterday. Hi, Linny. It's nice to see you, darling. So today, I'm not here with personal answers. Where I come at this point, it's not with a lot of personal answers in my life right now, but I am just being present. And I find that that is the best that I can do some days, is to just show up. I was trying to explain to my partner yesterday about processing emotion, because yesterday was a big, challenging day. I was very distressed, had some challenging news about my son's health, and it really knocked me off my feet a bit. But my partner tends to shut down emotionally when things go wrong, and I tend to process the emotion and work through the emotion. And I was trying to explain about why that's a really important thing, to sit with the pain, to sit with the discomfort, to feel the feelings rather than push everything down and soldier on. And my partner struggled with that a lot. When there's things like illness and fear and exhaustion and uncertainty, and of course, we still have this overarching global tension on top of our personal stuff, then, it can make the world a really noisy, exhausting, frightening kind of place. And it seems to seep into everything in our lives. Again, just quickly think about, how many pressing things, the 5 to 10 things in your life, how many of those do you have just bubbling on the surface? Things that hit that 5 out of 10 in your life. And for me right now, I am very blessed insofar as I've gone to one thing that is now up there at maybe a 9 out of 10. And the rest of my life is quite comfortably below 5 out of 10, which makes me feel like, gosh, it's just one bloody awful thing to deal with. So yeah, lots bubbling up. And I think when that happens, it becomes noisy in our lives. And the noise seeps into everything, every experience we have, good, bad, and in between. And I think it's a noisy world right now. We're all carrying too much. I talk about, when you wake up, putting on the backpack of heaviness, of life's challenges, of things that are going wrong, of things that you have to deal with, or a plate, what's on your plate right now, and how tall is that bloody plate right now? Good morning, ladies. There's lots more joining me. Please do say hello. I appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell if you want to be notified when I'm live. Please do that. I have lots of news about the channel for you in a little while. So here we all are carrying either a really heavy plate, or our backpack is really, really heavy, kilos and kilos and kilos of just hard shit that we're carrying around every single day. And that kind of heaviness really doesn't respond well to a shift in your mindset or getting more motivation, which is the bullshit that we're told online, right? You just got to stick your chin in the air, straighten your crown, and march on. Well, sometimes that just does not help. When you are laden down with challenging situations, things that you must address, then trying to shift your mindset or get some motivation is a rude suggestion from anybody. It's like, are you kidding me? Like, get a hold of yourself. My life is crazy difficult right now, and suggesting to me that it's my job in this chaotic noise to just shift my mindset and be more positive is rude and insulting, in my opinion. Because I think in those moments we are already overloaded, and when somebody comes and says, "Well, you are personally responsible for just changing the way you think about this, and then everything will be okay," you know, in this, if you are a sandwich woman, which is what I call a lot of us, maybe we're in our 40s, 50s, 60s, maybe we're older than that. Maybe we have kids, maybe our kids are teenagers or young adults. Maybe some of our kids are estranged from us, or maybe they're very dependent on us. Maybe we have aging parents and our parents really need us. On top of that, on top of those things, maybe now we're financially responsible for our family and ourselves. Maybe we've had to go back out to work. Maybe we can't find work. Maybe we are financially stretched beyond measure. Maybe on top of that, we are going through midlife and we're going through perimenopause and menopause. Maybe we have some health issues. Like, you start to layer this like a lasagna, and life's really freaking hard. And so when people come and say, "Well, you've just got to shift your mindset, or you've just got to be a bit more motivated," it's so crippling, because it's like, my God, I'm doing the best I can with everything that is hitting me in the head right now. So, when we are struggling, and then on top of layer that, like my experience yesterday, then when you watch somebody you love suffer, or your own body is hurting, then all of the coping tools you have are probably not going to work. And we don't need a society that then says to us, "Hey, it's on you if you feel bad about this. It's on you if you can't cope. You're just not mentally strong enough. You need to just get on with it." That's really not okay. It's not okay, and we need to shift. We need to shift our expectations of ourselves and tell everybody else to sod off. That, hey, you know what? I'm going to just do the best I can. And if I can stay upright, if I cannot keel over, that's going to be a win, in my opinion. That's going to be me doing my best, and staying upright is going to be the goal, rather than me solving things and smiling through it and being able to do, 5 gym sessions a week and put some savings away and be there for everybody and get 2 hours sleep. And you know what I mean? So we want to move, some days to surviving without losing our compassion for ourselves and what is going on in our lives. that we stay compassionate towards ourselves and kind towards ourselves and remind ourselves, you know what, I'm doing my best. This is a really big hill to climb. And for those of you who get what I mean, give me a thumbs up. If you understand what I'm talking about, if it resonates with you, let me know. If you're on the replay, put a comment in. I come and check them and read them as often as I can. So please know that if those things are going on for you, that the last thing you need to do is start heaping on top of yourself, well, I should do better. I should be able to get through this. I should be able to manage this. And it shouldn't be hard, because that's just garbage, in my opinion. What I do invite people to do, and what I do for myself, is invite stillness. And that's what I did yesterday. I reminded myself, you don't have to fix anything right now. Debbie, you just have to be with this stuff. I just have to acknowledge that what is happening is big, is painful, is hard, is really distressing. And that's enough for this day, to just recognize that. You know, I paused. I had this big plan about what I was going to get done, and I was really on fire before this stuff came up. And I just went, no, I need to just slow down. I just need to be with this discomfort. I need to just be with this panic and fear that I'm having, and just spend some time with that. And for me, that was really lovely, because I was honoring what was going on for myself. You know, not to try and resolve anything. I wasn't trying to fix anything or problem solve anything. I was just sitting with myself going, this is really, really, really hard. I had a cry. I just gave myself the grace to sit with it and allow it to just be there, because it was tricky. And I can see some of you saying that, are you talking about me? The past 2 days wrecked me. And I think we need to make space for that, right? We need to be able to say, this is hard. I mean, that doesn't change anything, right? But we're not trying to change anything. We're literally trying to make space for what is happening. We're trying to go, I have this pile over here already, and I'm putting something on top of it. It's that moment when the next 5 kilo weight in the backpack pulls you over, or the next dish that's put on your plate topples the whole thing over. And we then lack balance. We can't keep going. Everything collapses. And I think in those moments, we have to recognize everything just collapsed. This was one too many things. And I think it's okay to do that. I think it's okay to pause and stop and go, oh no, that was just the last straw. It's really important to notice it, and to be self-compassionate. Not to ask ourselves, why am I not coping better, or should be able to do this, or everybody else seems to be doing okay. But to stop and go, my plate is full, my backpack is overflowing. I cannot take one more step. And so I'm going to pause. I want you to know, when you pause and you are struggling, that is just you being a human in a world that feels like it's freaking breaking right now. I want you to just notice it. Just notice that everything feels like it's about to completely collapse. And that's okay to just notice it for this moment. We don't have to rise from the ashes right now. What we do have to do is really keep our hearts open and soft, and still care enough. Self-care, self-compassion, self-worth, self-love, all the selves, to just lean into those things. And to remember that we're not doing this on our own, which is challenging when we feel like we are doing this on our bloody own. Because that's another thing. In isolation, everything feels like the world is coming to a bloody end. Like everything feels like it's just too hard. That's why community really matters. That isn't just a bullshit saying. That's the truth. That we all cope better in community. We all cope better knowing that somebody's there to go, hey, I noticed you dropped your backpack. Oh gosh, something's fallen off your plate. Can I help you pick that up or rearrange it? Or maybe I can carry that for you for a short while, till you get your footing, till you feel stronger, till you can cope better. That's why community makes such an enormous difference in all of our lives, because we all need people to help us. And some of you may feel like, hey, Debbie, I hear you, but I don't have anyone. So I'm adjusting my glasses for glare, and it's not working this morning because they're new glasses. So some of you may not have someone there to help pick up the load. And so your job has got to be to find that community. How do I find my people? How do I get my people into my atmosphere? People like me, people who are doing their very best like me, people who are struggling like me, who kind of get it. And that is really, really important. If you've got a question for me, pop it into the chat. I'm really happy to answer your questions, any questions. So please go ahead and do that. And while you're doing that, I'll tell you a bit about what's going on in the channel. It has been busy this year for me on YouTube. I'm new to YouTube. I am finally getting the hang of YouTube, which I'm so grateful about because, you know, I'm not 25 and new technology is always challenging for me. But I am really loving getting to understand this channel finally. It's been a tough road. But things are getting better and I'm grateful for that. So on the channel, you will find my playlists at the top, which I've got Why Did You Cheat, Beyond Betrayal, and Heartbreak to Healing. Those series are now really getting underway and really working really lovely. So please do go and have a look at those. If you see them floating around the internet, there's a hype button I've just learned about, and you can press the hype button. It does a lot for my channel. If you hit the hype button under any of my videos, that spreads them out further. So please hit the hype button. But I come on here every Thursday in addition to that, and I answer questions. And I try and do this every single week to just be available to you to answer questions about anything, heartbreak, about affairs, about adult kids who are, you know, challenging, teenagers, young children, about being a grandparent, about estrangement, about, you know, middle life issues that are really important to all of us that layer over the top of this stuff. And with it, I try and bring a bit of humor and fun to it. I try and share some of my own stuff. You know, I'm more like you than I'm different to you. I will be sharing about my garden. I share my poetry on here. I'll be sharing about my life on here as time goes on. And I want this to kind of be a little hub for you, a little hub where you can come and watch, you know, little series of information about different life markers that might be causing you some issues. And if you then have questions about that, you can come and ask me about them. So that is my intention on the channel. Subscribing really helps me because having people who come every week is helpful for me and to build the channel up. It costs you nothing, and it's a way for me to go, oh, I see that there are people every week who come. That's helpful to know. And of course, it helps me design what I'm sharing with you. In addition to that, of course, hitting the notification bell means in a busy world, which we have a busy world, let's face facts, you get notified of when I'm doing lives, and so you don't miss them, or you can come and watch them on the replay if you prefer to do that. What else about my channel? I think that's about it. The playlists, the notifications, and the subscribes, that's probably about it. Of course, liking and sharing is really important. But that hype button I've learned about, press that hype button. If you can see a hype button, it's always helpful for me. Now, okay, when you have a lot going on, as you're chatting about, you have health issues, relationship breakdown, and perimenopause mixed into one big pot, it's really hard to know if you're dealing with things well. And I think if you are upright, you're dealing with things well, right? I think again, we can't score our performance when life is throwing a lot of things at us. I don't think it's about going, oh, you know, doing well is a 7 out of 10 or a 9 out of 10. I think it's, did I wake up this morning? That's a positive. Did I have a shower? That's a positive. Was I able to eat something that is healthful for me? That's a positive. Was I able to go for a walk? You know, just even 5 or 10 minutes? That's a positive. Did I speak to another human today? That's a positive. Was I able to connect in some way, shape or form with a community? That's a positive. We have to lower the bar around what it looks like to do well. And we have to understand with, if we are waking up and we are showing up in our own lives, then we're doing well. And then when things come up, having a strategy for, okay, and my strategy yesterday, Kate, was to do nothing. That was my strategy. And I got through yesterday doing nothing. I sat with myself and went, I don't want to cook dinner. I don't want to have to do the chores. I don't want to work. I don't want to deal with things. And I just cried. And I went, you know what? This is where I'm at right now. This is hard. It's really distressing. I'm crying because that's what I need right now. And earlier I went to the gym. I didn't want to go. I don't like going to the gym. Anybody who's read my poetry knows I do not like the gym. But the gym is a place for a woman who's approaching 60 where I can keep my bones strong, which is important as I age. So I went, I dragged myself there. I wasn't happy. I was nearly crying before I went to the gym because I'd gotten the bad news just before going to the gym. I thought I have to commit to this because this is about health and well-being, and I need to get myself to the gym. I need to do these exercises, and then I'll fall apart. So when we're thinking about things like how well are we dealing with things, like it really is about being kind and compassionate, and about those basic things, making sure that we are clean, making sure that we have eaten something healthful, making sure that we have moved a little. And we bring it back to that. And the worse, the higher up to 10 that you're at, the lower the things that are required gets. We get kinder and kinder and kinder to ourselves. I think when things are very challenging, if you have a thing that is pressing and you go, I'll do one thing towards that thing today. Just one thing that is going to enable me to move forward a little bit with that thing. It might be a phone call, or make some notes, or find a contact for somebody. A tiny thing that moves towards that is helpful. And, sleeping 16 hours, again, I think we have to be a bit careful with that. Like sometimes we're exhausted, but staying in bed for 16 hours, that is not self-loving or self-kindness or self-compassion. Sometimes it's too much, and I'm pulling the sheets over my head and I'm not coming out of bed because it's too hard. And what I suggest on those days, when you pull the blankets over your head and go, I can't do this today, is to say, you know what, I'm going to get up, I'll have a shower, I'll get changed, I'll go and get some food, and maybe I'll just sit on a chair outside for a short period of time to get some sunlight on my skin or some fresh air, and give myself just some space to do that, and just allow myself to do that. And then if things are hard, I might do some light things. Sleep is really important. It's very important. And if you're struggling, getting sleep is really important. If you're sick, getting sleep is really important. But if you're just overwhelmed and sleep becomes a place where you can just not have to deal with things, then you kind of have to go, you know what, it's good to have 8 hours, 7, 8, 9 hours for most people. And then everything over and above that is me saying I can't cope. And therefore, what I'm going to do instead is do very gentle things with myself today. Super gentle. But I'm going to get out of bed because that is going to be helpful for me. And what small things could I do? Can I connect in with family? Can I connect in with a neighbor? Can I join a local group where I connect in with people in my community? Can I get online if I have a community group that I can connect with? So the women here are in my membership, on those days when it's hard, reaching out in the membership, there are posts there that you can just post and let people know how you're going. Those things are really, really, really important. So it's about understanding, how do I best take care of myself? How do I best lean into that? And it's hard. Some days it's really hard. And trust me when I say I hear you. I hear you on the hard days. And yet we have to show up. You know what I mean? We have to show up, and we have to show up in a very gentle, kind, loving, and compassionate way. If anybody has any more questions for me, please do pop them into the comments right now. You're more than welcome to pop a comment in. If you prefer me not to use your name, you can put your comment in and you can delete it afterwards. And I can just use your first name. That kind of keeps a bit of anonymity. Again, I keep saying to people that I don't think that this chat goes live afterwards, as in the questions. I will actually try and check on that, but I don't think they do. But again, if you ever feel uncomfortable and want to pop in a question, you can pop it in and then delete it afterwards. Or, if you're somebody who wants to come and do it, as some of you are, I can see people's names with no picture and just a letter in their name. And I can use that letter and not your name if that feels a bit more comfortable, because I know it's hard asking questions. So, moving into today. Today, for me, I'm brushing off yesterday. I'm letting yesterday go. That doesn't change the situation that is happening, but I'm dusting off to let it go. I'm dealing with this day, and this day, so far, nothing has happened. It's still early in the morning. Shit could change. So I will be doing a lot of the things that I had planned for yesterday. I'll be doing it gently today. We've had a lot of rain where I am, which is such a blessing because we had no rain for weeks and weeks and weeks. I think about 8 or 9 weeks with no rain. We finally got rain. It really, really rained well it rained quite softly for a day. Then we had a downpour. Then we had a bit more rain. And so my garden is dancing with joy. All of my vegetables are just doing a dance, and my flower seeds are all doing dance. The first of the sunflowers have come out and their little heads have popped out, which is so lovely. I always love it when the sunflowers finally make a show. I have a lot more sunflowers to put in the yard, which I'll be doing over the weekend, I think. And I have some more seeds to plant, but I'm having a bit of a break at the end of next week. So I may not plant them yet because the seedlings won't be ready to go out until I get back. And so I have to be a bit careful because I don't want them to die if it's too hot. But I have a lot of other things that need planting out, a lot of tomatoes that are ready to go out. I have quite a lot because I want to do a lot of canning this season. Food is very expensive at the moment, so I'm canning what I can. I've got some gorgeous squash that's come out, the yellow sort of flat squash. It's really cute. I've never grown it before, so I'm loving that. That's coming out of the garden. My zucchinis are not producing yet, but those little lemon squashes are, which is just so pretty. I harvested some food yesterday. I got some beans yesterday, pulled out some onions because the onions are really bulbing up. And I needed to make space for other things. So the onions came out. I had a couple of blueberries I was able to pick. I do think the birds are getting there before me, rat bags. But I had some blueberries. So I have, my poor apple trees got battered. So some of my little apples got knocked off, which made me sad. But that's okay. It's, the season. We're coming into wet season soon, so that is happening with the apple trees. No limes, all the limes dropped off, which makes me sad. But I did just pop them into the ground, so maybe that's just a seasonal thing, and they'll get better. The grapes are doing well. So yeah, I'm pulling on carrots. I pulled carrots yesterday. I love carrots from the garden. If you've never had a homegrown carrot, wow, you're missing out. Those things are like candy. They're so sweet and delicious. So yes, that's about all in my garden. All right, if anybody has any questions or any comments they'd like to pop them in, please do so now because I'm going to head off shortly. For those of you who are in my membership, I'll be seeing you later in the week, I do believe. We're heading into November. So for those of you who are Halloweeners, we don't have Halloween in Australia. Some people do it, but it's quite rare. Enjoy your Halloween if you do celebrate Halloween. Like I said, we don't generally in Australia, so I shouldn't be getting any trick-or-treaters at my door. But I know some people celebrate, so do enjoy that. We're moving into November. Who knew that this year would fly by so fast? It's felt like walking through concrete. Wet concrete, not dry concrete. So it's been a challenging year, but we're in November. This year has been a challenge for everybody. I would like to say to all of the beautiful women who visit me from the United States, please know we're all watching. Please know that we all care. I know that for some people, November really is going to be a tough month with the government closed down and things like food stamps and SNAP benefits pulled away. That makes me sad to my heart in ways I can't even explain. People who are already suffering and struggling, who need help to get food put on the table. All of the workers who work for the government who are furloughed, who are not being paid even though they're going to work. My heart's breaking for America. My heart is broken for America. I was explaining that to my partner yesterday, that we need to bear witness to suffering sometimes, and that's hard. It's hard to witness people suffering. It's hard to be on the sidelines looking in, but I think it's really important to witness sometimes. My job is to bear witness to people suffering. That is what I do for a living. I walk beside women who are struggling in some of the worst times of their lives, and I walk beside them trying to shine a light on the next best step they can take. It's challenging sometimes to be watching somebody else suffer. It can be incredibly painful to bear witness, but it's really important. If you are in the US and you can help people out, gosh, I encourage you to do that. If you are somebody who needs help, I encourage you to make sure you reach out for help. I know that lots of beautiful, kind people are trying to assist. I see a lot of online, uh, what do they call, content creators who are really digging deep and trying to help people out, donating money, getting their followers to donate money, donating to food banks and things. So I encourage people to do that if that is something you are able to do. And if you are not able to do that and you need assistance, please do not be shy in asking for help. There are lots of people who need help right now, and there's no shame in asking for and needing help at all, ever. Where I live in Australia, we have a lot of things that are free. Healthcare is free. Dental care for many people is free or inexpensive. You know, eye tests, ear tests are all free. We have a government that gives us money when we are not working or we are sick, and it may not be an enormous amount of money, but it is definitely something. And there are lots of charities and things that help people out too. So yes, and this is why I grow my abundant garden, and the children around me come and feed from my garden. I had the boys from next door come the other day, and they ran out to the garden to see what they could forage. I kept saying, do not pick the tomatoes, do not pick the tomatoes. I have great big green tomatoes there. I didn't want them pulling them off. But usually they can, if they find food in my garden, they're welcome to eat it. And I do share that with people around me because food's expensive. It really is. All right, my darlings, I think that's it for today. And just to summarize for you, take care of yourself. Remember, it's okay. It's okay if your plate is too full or your backpack is too heavy to stop for a while and put it down and leave it on the ground for a bit and just do the very, very tiny little bits of things that you need to do to take the best care of yourself, to ensure that you are okay and you can, keep going. Life's hard sometimes, and we have to remember that we've got to look after ourselves, take care of ourselves, be gentle with ourselves, be compassionate with ourselves. I'll be here again next week. And the following week, I will not be here because I'm going to be away, so I won't be here for that one. But the others I will be here for this month. To my members, I will be with you very soon in the membership, where I'll be taking all your questions. We'll have a chat. I'll give you a bit of insight into what's been going on. And of course, I'm looking forward to spending time with you all and seeing how you are all going as we move towards the end of 2025. Nice to see you. If you are new here, hello. It's lovely to have you with us. Please know that you can come here every week. And of course, if anybody looks at any of my videos and wants to comment on them, I always try and have a look at those. I try and answer questions if I can. So please feel free to do that. If you don't know who I am a university trained therapist and a relationship coach online. I'm nearly 60 years old. Which I feel about 160 today, nearly 60 years old. I've been doing this for a couple of decades. I like to help women who are over 40, who have been through some life events, usually things like long-term relationships ending, dealing with a partner who's had an affair, and rebuilding from that space, helping with issues like estranged children, with menopausal issues, health issues, with all of the things that come with starting over. So if you have any questions about any of that stuff, you're more than welcome to ask me. I'll do my very best to help you and support you if I can. On my channel, there are some free things. There is a Beyond Betrayal free booklet you can download. In addition to that, there is a free download on long-term relationships ending. There are some survival guides up in my store. I'll be, over Christmas, I'm working on the store, and I'll be putting more things in there for the new year. For my members, please don't buy from my store. You get everything I have for free in the membership. That is part of the membership. So please, if you want anything from the store, let me know and we can get that for you. All right, I'm going to head off. Please take care of yourself. Please be gentle with yourself. Please do not try and, push through when sometimes that's not the way to do it. Be kind, be gentle, be compassionate with yourself. And I will see you again this time next week. My favorite time of the day, too early in the morning. Not my favorite time of the day. Take the best care of yourselves. And I will see you very, 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 very soon, my darlings. Take care. And have a good week if you can. Take care, everyone. Bye. Oops, I didn't hit the right button. hit the edit button. I'm not sure why. Let's try that to end the live, shall we? Okay, let's go.